Hi, my name is James Shepard, CEO of Transaction Expert, and I'm really excited about today's video. What every small business owner wants to know is how do you improve cash flow? Now, we all like to make a profit, and so we're all constantly working on our bottom line, but short term, we have real cash flow constraints. And without a doubt, your biggest cash flow concern is payroll. And one thing our company does is we've partnered with PayPros to provide payroll processing services. And so today I've been in meetings this morning with Jeff, the president of PayPros, and I want to share 3 tips he gave me on how you can improve your cash flow with payroll processing. Now, number 1 on the top of the list, of course, is simply lower fees. And so if you're currently with ADP, Paychex, or any of our other competitors, we really strive to generate new client relationships by offering you lower fees so that you can save money on your payroll processing costs. So if you already have another company, it's really simple. You can go to our website, transactionexpert.com. Over to the right, you'll see a little form to find a local expert near you. They can come out there, get an invoice from you, showing your current fees, and we'll be glad to work on saving you some money. But let's move past that and talk to those of you that, whether maybe you don't have a payroll processor right now, or you already have one but you're looking to improve your cash flow. A couple things you can do, 3 quick tips. So number 1 on the list is going to be workers' comp. Now, through PayPros, they have a relationship with Hartford that does workers' comp insurance. And if you're like me, my company, we had to pay a ton of money to get our workers' comp up and going, which is very, very expensive, and it really hurt our cash flow to have to pay all that money up front. I think we had to pay like 1/3 of our total annual premium up front. Well, what PayPros does is they work with the Hartford, and they have the workers' comp going on a pay-as-you-go basis. So every time you run payroll, they're able to deduct just a little bit of money out of your account to pay the premiums just for that time period. So if you're really strapped on your workers' comp and you need to get that insurance going, contact us. We'll get you set up with PayPros to do your payroll processing, and we'll just go ahead and throw in the workers' comp with that, and you just have a small fee to go ahead and get that processed on a regular basis. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 on the list is I want to talk to you about what happens when you need to skip a payroll or you need to wait a little while on your own payroll. So that's kind of my number 2 and number 3 tip for you is, first of all, if you need to skip a payroll, what a lot of our competitors like ADP and Paychex, many times what they'll do is they'll go ahead and charge you the fee anyway. So even though you didn't process a payroll, they still charge you all the fees as if you did process a payroll. Well, that's not good, okay? You don't want to do that. Now, we don't do that. We allow you to skip maybe 1 week, maybe in a rare situation 2 weeks, where you could skip those weeks and say, you know what, something happened. I got all of our employees together. We talked about it and said, hey, we're all in this together. Cash is a little tight. We got to skip payroll this week. We're going to catch up next week. You don't have to pay any fees for that week where you didn't process any payroll. So that's an area that will save you some money. But, more on the line of how do you do that? How do you actually work that out? Well, let me give you a couple things about how to actually do this in practice and how it would work to actually skip a week of payroll. Now, first of all, we don't want the IRS after us, right? That's the last call we want to get is, or the letter we want to get is from the IRS. Believe me, I'm a business owner. I don't want to mess with that, okay? So we want to pay our taxes. We want to make sure our payroll taxes are paid. So what we can do through PayPros, they have a relationship with you, or what they can do is they can go ahead and run the actual payroll taxes and all that, pull that money from your account so at least you're up to date on all the payroll taxes. But what they'll do is they'll send you PDF documents, or you can even go and download them, the check stubs, from an online portal, and you can just print the checks when you're ready to pay out the check, and it'll now come out right out of your account, okay? So in other words, you might have a week where all you can afford to do is just pay the tax man, and you got to wait 3 or 4 days before you can actually get your payroll out there. That's fine. You can just print the paper checks and send them out in that way, or maybe even yourself. Maybe you say, you know what, I want all my employees on direct deposit, but me and my wife and this person, we're kind of the 3 people that are the main investors in the company here, and we have a salary, but if things are tight, we might wait a couple weeks before we get paid. That's okay. You can go ahead and print the checks and make sure, again, all the payroll and everything will be done for you and paid out. But you might say for cash flow concerns, we need to wait a little while before we take our money out, and that's something that can be done through PayPros. Now, one thing I want to give you, one last kind of final word on this about payroll processing that's a huge difference is service. All of the things I just mentioned sound great, but only if you have a real live person you can talk to that's going to help you set all this kind of stuff up. good luck calling ADP or Paychex. One of the big differences and one of the reasons we've partnered with PayPros is that on average, just to give you some numbers here, on average an ADP or Paychex representative is going to have about 300 or so businesses that they work with. So they have 300 businesses that might be calling them or emailing them or trying to get a change made. On average at PayPros, they cut it off at 150. So you say, well, everybody says we have better service. Well, yeah, but we can back that up with real numbers. The average payroll expert at PayPros has half the number of clients as the average expert at ADP or Paychex. So you know that your response time is going to be at least twice as good. Just it's a simple numbers game, right? And so you're going to get that service you need to be able to call and say, hey, look, how do I do this? You know, cash is tight. I need to change my payroll a little bit. I need to do this differently. Payroll is something where you need responsiveness. You need a live person. Now, if you're interested in signing up for payroll processing, it's really simple. Go to transactionexpert.com. Over to the right, you're going to see a little box there. Find my local expert. Put your information there. Make sure you put your zip code in. We'll have somebody follow up with you within 24 to 48 hours, 1 to 2 business days, to come out there, look at your payroll processing needs, and work with you to find a solution that's going to help you improve your cash flow. My name is James Shepard. Thanks for watching.